With that, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Nihar Satapathy is the Senior Vice President at Thyssendrupp, North America. His full bio is in the app. Nihar will share with us Thyssenkrupp's journey towards digital transformation. Please join me welcoming Nihar to the stage.
Thanks, Andy. Good morning. Well, that wasn't very wakeful. Good morning. Morning. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here today morning, to be the first speaker of the day. It's a difficult task to make sure everyone's awake. Hopefully, you're all caffeinated and ready. Today, I'm going to talk about Thyssenkrupp's journey in the digitalization age. It was very heartening for me to see some of the speakers up in the video just a few minutes ago talking about digital transformation. So the question is, why do you need to digitally transform? And I would argue that the reason you need to digitally transform is if you don't, you are at the risk of being outcompeted in the market tomorrow. There is a big risk for industrial companies especially of being commoditized. And that's a recurring theme that I'm going to hopefully walk through some examples to help you get an example and illustration of. So first, a little background about Thyssenkrupp. We are a global engineering company, industrial company with we operate in 80 countries around the world. Within North America, we have 40+ distinct businesses. These go from elevators and escalators to automotive parts to supplying materials for different types of industries, and also building fertilizer plants, cement plants, mining equipment, and on and on and on. We have 26 manufacturing facilities within North America, do about $10.5 billion in sales just within the region, and about 24,000 employees. So very diversified industrial. We've been in business for roughly 200 years. So long history, long tradition of manufacturing-based presence. Our philosophy is we like to engineer the solutions of tomorrow with our customers. So what does a 200-year-old company do in this digitalization age when everything seems to be happening at a much more rapid pace? So I don't need to talk about all the technology trends that you are facing within your respective industries. I imagine it's similar to what we are facing as well. On one side, you have computing power that seems to be becoming cheaper every single day. You have low-cost mobile data transfer, so you can transfer information for pretty much pennies on the dollar today. The cost of sensors is down to pennies, if at all. And also, you have trends like additive manufacturing that seem to be upending the traditional manufacturing process. On the other side, we have our customers who are changing. For example, automotive customers are facing the scene that you have now car sharing as opposed to owning cars, and these have huge implications for downstream suppliers like us. Energy companies no longer want to own hard assets. They would rather get them on demand. And so all of these trends are upending our presence within the value chain that used to exist for decades in the past. And new alignments are being formed with new entrants that are coming in based on the data and the information that they are able to gather on things that we had done in the past. So how do we as a company compete in this new environment? As all of you may be facing, we face margin pressures in order to show that our product is better than the rest of them. But also at the same time, we find ourselves having to compete every day in terms of being innovative and digital. I'd like to tell you that we had a broad strategy, and we thought about this many years ago and came up with a grand plan. The reality is, we, as all of you, went through this process. We see that certain things work. We are just trying to stay one step ahead of everybody else. At the end of the day, if I were to summarize how we went about this, we focused on customer value add. Because we think if you provide additional value to the customer, somehow you can find a way to monetize it down the line, and everything will work out. Once you agree to that thesis, then you can add on new digital products. You can digitalize your operations, make them more efficient using some of these technologies that are now available. And this new technology is also allowing you to have new business models that were previously not feasible. I'm going to walk you through 3 examples today just to illustrate how that has worked for Thyssendrupp. And hopefully you can take that with you to your respective businesses. We have dozens of use cases based on this digitalization journey that we are on across each of our businesses. And this goes from mining equipment to elevators to assembly line robotics and so on and so forth. The first example I'm going to walk you through is our elevator business. For those who are not familiar, the elevator business, super competitive. We provide the equipment, and we also like to provide the service. And that's how it has worked for decades. But we find that with the digitalization age, things are changing. And we find that competition is coming not from our traditional competitors, but from companies that are using the data and information that can be available to provide better value to our customers. I'm going to walk you through a short video to illustrate what that is, and then we can talk about that at the end.
Take a look at the world we live in today. So much more exciting than ever before, offering limitless possibilities. Take a look at all the powerful tools in the hands of nearly everyone. Technology has become an essential part of our everyday lives, providing personal guidance and valuable information. Take a look at the cities of today, rapidly growing, redefining our urban landscapes, creating the best place to live ever. More than 1 billion people worldwide ride on elevators every day. Therefore, absolute reliability is crucial. Any technical device constantly produces information, signals about its condition. From now on, we can turn every elevator into a communicating device, using the signals they provide to calculate the remaining lifetime of key systems and components in real time, maximizing availability and safety. This huge amount of data from millions of connected sensors is constantly gathered and analyzed, and instantly providing information about required actions to service technicians, enabling predictive and even preemptive maintenance to keep cities moving, saving time for people, and empowering technicians to prevent breakdowns before they occur. It's much more than simple remote monitoring. It is taking the elevator industry into the digital era, making the elevator tell us what it needs. A tremendous increase of service quality for buildings and people.
That's what Max is all about. Maximum uptime all of the time.
Max, a true revolution in elevator service. Max, Thyssendrupp Predictive Maintenance.
So you can think of it as, oh, this is another service offering. But in reality, the lines between what a product used to be, where we would make an elevator and sell that elevator and then sell the service as a separate entity, the lines between them actually blur. And I think the biggest risk for manufacturing companies in particular is we are used to selling widgets, right? I make a certain widget and I sell the widget and I make money on it. But with data, those lines tend to blur, because I argue that data is going to be the currency of the future. The data and information that you are collecting is what is going to be driving most of the value. So the traditional lines of what a product and a service is going to blur. One of the interesting facts we find is companies are actually interested in understanding the flow of people within a certain building. Now, that is not something that is historically captured, but with the data that we have with the elevator being now connected to the internet, we can gather that information in almost real time in terms of flows of day of time and how many people and so forth. And that information can be valuable to multiple companies. So in that case, what exactly is the product that you are selling? And if you think about it in the traditional context, I think you miss some of these bigger pictures. The second is around a digital twin. So we have a business that helps you assemble automotive parts or cars, whatever. And we would build the robots that help you with that assembly line process. Now, this is something we have done for years, and we would provide that for any new OEM that wanted to build a facility or expand a facility, what have you. It's a very complex process, but usually we would deal with it in a discrete manner. Vendor OEM A wants to build a facility, we go build it for them, and there are certain steps that are more challenging than others, right? So for example, the door assembly is one of the most complex assemblies because you have to put the seal around it to make sure air and other things don't get in. And it's usually one of the more difficult parts. We also have another business that helps with the physical people that help with the assembly line and so forth for some of our customers. What we realized is we actually have, based on all the projects we have done in the past, a lot of information about the challenges and issues that companies would face when doing this. And normally the way you would deal with it is you would fix it as and when things happen. What we find is with technology now, we can actually create a digital twin that mimics exactly what is happening on the assembly line in near real time. So in that case, whatever issues or things that are coming up, you can deal with them much faster, and it's becoming a very attractive thing for us to offer to our customers. And in addition, if they wanted to make a change to that assembly line, it makes that process more iterative, faster, react better to customer demand, and so forth. So in a way, the data already existed with us. We just had to figure out how to use it in a different way. Again, walking through a quick video just to illustrate the point. So customers tomorrow are expecting you to not just build something for them, but also anticipate problems and issues and figure out solutions that is going to help them react faster, change faster than they are able to today. And this is one of our ways in the digital world to try and help our customers do that. Sorry. No. The third example I'm going to walk you through is one of our businesses that makes chairlifts. So anyone that has parents, senior citizens, whatever, who live in a house and are having a difficult time commuting up and down the stairs can buy a chairlift to help them make that trip every day. Normally, the way this industry works, and we do it in a certain way and our competitors do it exactly the same way, is you would have a salesperson come into your house, they would take measurements of the stairs, because every house is different, every stair is different. And they would take those measurements, take it back, make a CAD drawing, come back to you and show you what that looks like. You would then select, say, OK, goes into manufacturing, and about 12 to 14 weeks later, you have the product that comes in and gets assembled in your house. And this is how we've done it for a long time, and this is how our competition does it as well. As we looked at the digitalization of this entire business, we started with the fact that we said, well, this is a very manual process. Like, you take physical measuring tape and you start measuring things. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We should be able to automate that with technology. And what we found is, yes, we can do that with technology, but it is very difficult to justify the business case to say, I'm going to spend, let's say, a couple of $1,000s on a piece of equipment to help me automate that. And what we found is we had to think about the business holistically in order for us to be really justifying this particular aspect of it. But in reality, we had to think about the entire business, the entire value chain from a customer standpoint. 12 to 14 weeks is too long for somebody that wants to get something installed in their house. And as we went through this, we found that we could shrink that down to a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. And all of this happens because we are able to use technology differently. And this is what business transformation looks like when you look at it in its entirety.
Cases are all unique, and that makes it very hard to find one stairlift which fits all. Each and every stairlift needs to be customized to make a perfect fit. A chairlift allows our customers to access all floors of their home and be mobile in their own environment.
Selling, manufacturing, and then installation, it all takes quite a while. People need a quick solution. With Hololens, we started saying, let's look how we can measure stairs differently so it's quicker.
Microsoft HoloLens is a fully self-contained wearable holographic computer. It enables you to interact with your digital content and projects high-definition 3D holograms into the world all around you.
Once we got the hand on the HoloLens, it was an eye-opener for us.
You just put the HoloLens on and then you scan the staircase and then start to measure every step. HoloLens guides you through the process.
But that was just the very beginning. We realized that the HoloLens is not just another methodology of measuring a staircase, but is actually performing digital data capturing to the cloud.
With the Azure cloud, we are actually able to transport all the data gathered by the HoloLens to our customer database and our accounting systems in real time and forward it to the manufacturing site where you start production. That is a completely new use. Delivering a product with HoloLens, we could become up to 4 times faster.
We can show the animation like, hey, this is your personal stairlift.
With the HoloLens, we can provide that solution faster, and it will actually make the customer's life better. We're getting more and more connected with each other, right? And the HoloLens will play a major role in this connectivity.
There's plenty of potential, and whomever we discuss this with comes up with a new idea, and that's what's so great about it.
With this partnership with Microsoft, Thyssendrupp will transform homes to make life better. That is a game changer.
When we talk about game changers, yes, the fact that we can now deliver product in 2 to 3 weeks is great. But the satisfaction of the customer when they are able to see the vision of their product right at the first visit with the salesperson, that is a game changer. That is when you really know that you have transformed your business, is when the customer says, I like this, this is what I want. And this business was growing at low single digits, and now is going to double in the next 5 years. Because of this growth, this ability to deliver superior value to the customers. And to me, that is what digital transformation ultimately means, is you change the way you're doing business. So I know time is short. I'm going to walk through a few key learnings based on our journey, and hopefully it resonates with many of you. The first is digitalization is inevitable. It is coming, it is happening, whether you like it or not. It's better if you embrace it sooner than just wait for it to have some unintended consequences for your business. There are technologies available today. You just have to find the relevant business case and think of your business holistically in order for you to deliver the value that your business owners expect. We realized early on that we did not have the skill set. We did not have the resources in order to do it ourselves. And we established some partnerships with key players in order to help us make that leap. Stay the course. It is a tough journey. You're going to have many stumbles along the way, but it's worth it in the end. And prepare for the long haul. Don't think of it as a 6-month, 3-month project. It is a journey that's going to take a long time, but the payoff is huge at the end. Thank you.